Just wondering, though, now that, this case has gone the manner in which it has, what advice would you have for the other cases, for the prosecution and maybe the defense, in terms of the other cases that are still in court?
Number one, we should all be committed to the fight against corruption. We should not allow any criminal, unquote, to escape because of legal technicalities. So, what that means is that we should do thorough investigation, thorough prosecution, link investigation with prosecution, examine our cases thoroughly, and many times reduce the number of counts of charges. You see, if somebody is done with 100 count charges, it sometimes does not help. Find the concrete ones that you have solid evidence on. And then the bench, the judges, must be committed to the fight against corruption. They should ensure that only the innocent escape, and not that people escape by technicalities.
Now, for a number of eyes, for a number of legal eyes, they're not very surprised in terms of how this case has gone.
Yeah.
But then, to the public, there might be a perception issue in terms of, trying judges in a judiciary that they have worked in. Do you think that the judiciary has any case to prove on these matters that have been brought to before it, especially in the case of the judges?
Well, this is not a matter of comradeship. It's a matter of records. These judgments are public records. Other people could take them and analyze them. It's not about because you are a judge, you cannot be convicted. The judges are convicted also. Lawyers are convicted now of criminal cases. But the cases have to be proven. Whether it's a judge, whether it's a lawyer, whether it's a police person, whether it's a politician, this case should wake us up further to know that, it is not only about suspicion, it's not only about conjecture. And when you get to the court, it goes beyond that. Yes, I agree that perception plays a role. The public says, if you take them to court, nothing will happen. Now he's a judge now. Another judge cannot convict him. But I don't think that is the case. Now, what we should now do is, before anyone is arraigned, or those that have been arraigned, and the prosecution is not too sure of the strength of his case, nothing stops them from withdrawing the cases and then doing thorough work and taking the people back to court.
What do you think of the statement of the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, that said that we actually need, the war against corruption needs, in his words, the Ogbologbo lawyers to be able to fight it? That's the stronger judge, a more experienced judge to
I
to take
agree
care
with
of this.
you. That's exactly what I'm saying. He just said it in a local parlance. Anti-corruption prosecutions, you need to put the best. You need to put the best. Because the accused or the defendant will also go for the best defense counsel.
Is that what we're doing now?
You and I are judges. We could judge that. We don't need a former judge.
We're onlookers.
Are you with me? You could see. Any person accused of an offense is going to run to get the best lawyer to defend him. So the prosecution should have a better quality of prosecutor in our team of prosecutors. You should, put through the evidence at the highest scale of weighing before you take them to court.
Let's look at prosecution.
And let us not just tie too much to this Justice Adamana's case.
No, we also looked at some
anti-corruption cases go on in magistrate courts every day. How many of them are people? How many people are convicted?
Even
many of them.
Magistrate court.
Exactly. The corruption cases does not mean that it must be a very big.
No,
offense.
you'd have thought that.
And they are prosecuted by police officers.
And in many cases, they get successes at those things.
The success rate will be naturally abysmally low, because these people will get good lawyers to go against police people.
Let's expand that, looking at prosecution. Now, remember when the case happened, some thought, was it the DSL? Did they have the right to do all of those? Well, why didn't they use the EFCC? But the AGF handling this kind of matter, do you see coordination, or you think, well...
No, I'm here, I'm advocating what will help going forward. You know, a lot could have happened. They would have done their best. No prosecutors.
Is that synergy there to ensure that their best?
Well, you could see that sometimes you get indication that there may be some gaps. For example, in the approval in the Senate proceeding against to confirm Magu, you found out that another agency was giving a report. That shows that there's some gap between the two agencies, for example. So we shouldn't have gaps.
What do you make of the structure set up to fight anti-corruption in Nigeria today?
We have good structure, but they have to be operated properly. We have all that it takes. We have good laws. Now, let me make this point and put it clearly. The problem we have also stems from the philosophical war. We cannot win anti-corruption war only through the court system, or military incursions, or police. No. When President Buhari led this country in the 80s, he brought in the war against indiscipline. You could see Nigerians on the queues. You will get to parties, you can no longer bring out money and spray. So we need to do more also on the philosophy. It will affect the judges, it will affect the lawyers. What are we talking about? What does the National Orientation Agency do? Are we really deep into changing the orientation of Nigerians? By the time you change the orientation of Nigerians, you will shift criminals from non-criminals easily. And then you will see some degree of success. Look at the effect of the whistleblower. It's been very useful. I commend the government for adopting that. So by the time the average Nigerian begins to, it gets into a psyche that corruption is actually so bad. And lawlessness, I extend it to lawlessness. It's not good.
Let me follow up on that debate. At the end of this administration, whenever that is, do you think that we will still be perhaps, or would have recorded a milestone or done so very well to the extent that it's ingrained in our mindset how to keep going?
Yeah, from my assessment of this administration is like this. We are not where we used to be. We have not got to where we are going to. We are on the road.
Let me put it this way. Have we institutionalized the fight against corruption?
Quite a lot is being done, I agree. Quite a lot. But, like I said, we may have to reinforce this war. One of them is this, just like it begins with you, it begins with me. Yes, but it should go a lot deeper into it. Something very close, something very close to the war against indiscipline style.
But do people accept that it begins with them?
Well, that's a personal journey. But what the point I'm making is that if a child steals and you beat the child, you lock the child inside a room. Some will put paper in the eyes of the child. Our children. How many times does that deterrent factor become the best solution? It may be possible to let that child know that stealing is not good, and that child or the children begin to know that stealing is not good. So the philosophical war against indiscipline and corruption is much more important for me, and I think the orientation agencies in this federation, in the states, in all these seriously mobilized, to be equipped, to begin to drum it in the ears of people. We will reduce and then we will know the actual criminals. The courts will not be inundated. We need to get to the point, like the government is trying to do now, to have special courts. And these courts will have timelines for each case.
How does that impact on investigation and prosecution?
Yeah, because, I mean, the anti-corruption cases, each day you open the newspaper, new ones are coming. Some of the corrupt governors' cases are still pending close to 6, 7, 5 years.
Let's come back and continue this and wrap it up in just a moment. Don't go away.